scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on?
Hello,
Now we're rolling.
we are rolling.
Okay.
My name is Taylor.
Whoa, it is.
It actually is.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, hi, it's nice to meet you. My name's Phoebe.
Hello, Phoebe. I couldn't agree with you more, honestly. You're just so Phoebe.
100%. The most Phoebe that I've ever
met, really.
Yeah.
I can't think of a Phoebe or Phoebe.
Truly.
We were just talking about the Super Bowl of 2011, the halftime show when Fergie played with Slash.
Yeah.
And how just kind of a historical moment that was.
Definitely. A cultural shift, if you will.
Yeah, a cultural reset, I would say.
Uh-huh. That's what the kids call it.
I think so. I don't know.
Cultural reset.
The Gen Zers.
Yes.
All right.
Technically millennials.
True. I'm on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a millennial.
I'm in there. 95.
Yeah. But as I
no
say,
denying.
we're pretty close in age.
We are. Hey guys, this is our podcast that we do once a week.
Remarks.
Called Remarks, a conversation-style podcast where we're going to talk about our billionaires' pure evil. Yes. End of the episode. Thank you for coming.
Let me just answer that one right out of the gate. Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Period.
Not good.
Good night.
But this is I think this one's going to be fun because it's a little bit more of just like a rant episode.
Yeah.
Like,
Loose.
not that we don't rant on our other episodes too, but we're just going to kind of talk about how billionaires are evil and also fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. They're all weird motherfuckers.
So
Every
weird.
last one of them. But yeah, this is just a little treat for us, for you guys, for everyone, and the core of what this show really is just us yelling about stuff that makes us upset.
The true inspiration.
Uh-huh.
Well, so coming out of the gate strong, I listened
into
to another podcast recently, Behind the Bastards.
Love
Huge
that
fan.
one. Yeah, we are big
and they
fans.
they were actually talking about, their episode was called The Ballad of Bill Gates.
Oh, fuck.
And Bill Gates is much more concerned with the circumcision of black men than I would have previously thought.
What?
Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I believe, started this campaign to circumcise more men in Africa because it helps decrease AIDS when you have circumcisions.
Oh.
But
Okay.
the catch is, when they were doing these circumcisions, nobody was telling the people that, oh, you get circumcised, but you still need to use condoms and protection. So they were these people in this African village who didn't know any better were like, oh, I'm circumcised, I can't get AIDS now. And, they probably declined AIDS a little bit from that, but they also definitely caused people to get AIDS who didn't need to get AIDS.
Thanks, Bill, I guess.
But yeah, he
Once again, can we just fucking teach people about goddamn contraception methods, for fuck's sake? Specifically the use of condoms to lower STD
Oh, absolutely.
Spread.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because they, when you're that rich and you just, have the whim or, just the idea pops in your head one day that you're like, I'm gonna go and do something. And then you're just
that seems charitable.
Yeah, who can stop you? You're Bill fucking Gates.
Literally,
you have so much money.
Yeah, you can literally do anything that you want at all.
And that's the kind of shit that, is frustrating to argue with, conservatives about, because this kind of leads into my next point about Bill Gates, which is that, he's very much a proponent of, we can help people, but we have to do it under, the capitalist framework,
Right.
He's people can get rich and then donate to the poor and all this stuff, and it, puts it very much on, rich people to donate to the poor, and it's
Right.
No, we could set up society to help the poor. So then it's not, again,
crazy.
Based on the whims of some rich asshole who...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, you could just, like, I don't know, improve society somewhat to, like, make it so people aren't needing billionaires to donate to them to, like, not die, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Which is why charities are a fucking scam most of the time, because it's like they're doing one thing, but there's all this other shit that they're, like, never addressing, or, like... the money never actually goes there, Susan G. Komen, or, you know.
Yeah, and that's what's so hard about charities in general, is, like, I just don't think you ever know, like, which ones are good charities.
Legit or not.
And, you know what really bothers me? This is a little bit of a rant.
I mean, this is what we're doing today.
This is what we're doing. This is the episode. I hate when a company, like a store, will ask for donations from the customers.
Yes.
And then they get all these donations from the customers, donate it to a charity, and then get a tax write-off on money that they didn't even donate to charity. They used their customers to do it.
Fucking literally. Oh my god. And it fucking guilt trips you every time you're there. You feel like the biggest piece of shit because you're at, like, fucking Petco, and it's like, do you want to donate $1 to starving, dying puppies who are crying in the streets? And you're like, no, because I'm not donating $1 right now. Like, I'm fucking just trying to get some goddamn food for my dog. But then you're like, well, now I feel like a fucking asshole if I don't donate this $1. But Petco is like a fucking $1 billion corporation.
Yeah, it's like, why can't you just donate a bunch of your money?
I mean, it's the same. How much is a $1 from each customer really going to do? It's like, just donate, like, 20% of your earnings for a day, company-wide.
Honestly.
Call it good. That's going to be more than the couple of, like, fucking assholes that are wrestled into donating $1 because I feel like I'm a dick.
No, for sure. It's kind of the same thing as, like, when billionaire, or just media in general, I guess, tells you, like, we can all band together to stop climate change, and it's like, we're gonna all recycle and carpool and shit, but it's like, that's part of it, but, like, there's also the corporations that are, like, fucking the environment up with all their emissions. Like,
well, and this is, like, one of the many issues with, like, capitalism, corporations, and specifically billionaires, is that it's like there's these issues that are created by capitalism or by these big corporations that are polluting or whatever it is, and these things are, like, put in the hands of, like, us, who really, the differences that we're gonna make by, like, switching to an electric car or biking or whatever it is going to make a minuscule amount of difference. Like, it's never going to make enough of a change that's actually going to reverse any of the effects of this shit. Like, for instance, the drought that's happening in Utah right now is, like, unreal. It's worse than it's ever been. And the fucking governor, god damn it, I hate this guy. Like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. We're gonna get into it. What?
Is that Burgess Owens?
No, Spencer Cox.
Yeah.
Spencer Cox, literally, instead of doing anything, he fucking, like, how about you shut down the golf courses? How about you put a regulation on when people can water, like, what time of day people can water their grass in Utah? Because also, you can't just let your grass die. Like, that's not gonna help the environment either. So you have to water the grass. Put a regulation on how long, what time of day. Make it so you can only water the grass once a week. Fucking anything. But instead, he literally puts out a press conference asking people to come together to pray for rain to fix this shit. But anyway, I digress. I'm literally already seeing with this drought, people like you and I taking it into our own hands. And I see shit on Twitter that's like, oh, we had so-and-so's dogs came over and we had a puppy pool party. Don't worry, though, it was drought safe because we used the water from the pools to water our fucking whatever. And it's like, we shouldn't be having to, like, to explain to other people that we're doing things drought safe, or we shouldn't be having to be like, oh, guess what, everyone, what I'm doing to conserve water. It's like, no, this isn't your fucking fault. This is not your fucking responsibility. And by, like, using the water, by using the water that you used in your little puppy pool to water your fucking plants instead of using your sprinklers is never, ever, ever gonna make the change that, like, our stupid-ass governor just doing his effing job, like, would do to actually fix this shit. Anyway, it's this whole thing of the way that the media, like, shapes things, puts everything onto, like, the consumer's hands and onto, like, the working class's hands, instead of being like, hey, these gigantic corporations are pumping out, like, fucking tons and tons of pollution every single day, but, like, hey, try to drive your car to work only once a week or something. Like, that's gonna fucking do shit.
Stop eating meat on Mondays. Just like, yeah, it's dumb shit. But no.
I'm sorry, one more fucking
Keep going.
Like, I was at the gas station the other day filling up my car, and I saw this billboard that was about food waste, and it was literally shaming people for throwing away, like, for letting their food go bad and throwing it away. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Do you want to go contact every single, like, food place in this fucking valley and gather all of their food waste that they throw away? Like, these corporate, like, you know, fucking Chili's and Starbucks and shit, and, like, collect the food that they throw away at the end of the night that's not even spoiled? Instead of literally, like, a billboard shaming me for my tomato going bad and me not eating it. In, like, a food desert part of town.
Yeah.
Fuck you! Okay.
Nope. Fuck them, for sure.
I'm good.
Pardon me. No, yeah, I mean, that's the amount of waste that I feel like companies just throw away because they can't make a profit on it.
Yes.
Is the grossest thing I've ever seen.
And then it's turned around and, like, it's my fucking fault that I let my strawberries go bad in my fridge. I'm the reason why food waste and people are starving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun stuff.
This is gonna be
It's gonna be a good one. Who did you research up on, Phoebe?
So I looked mostly into the Kardashian empire.
Ooh.
I did do, like, a little kind of small research on like some of the top, like, Forbes billionaires.
Yeah.
Mostly I just wanted to know who everybody's parents were. Because
it's always
it's always how it is. So I'm just gonna, like, read my few little things that I did look up, because I did find some weird shit on Jeff Bezos. And then I do just want to mention Bernard Arnault, who is, like, this fucking, he owns, like, literally every fashion house ever, basically. And then I'll get into the Kardashians, because they're just wild. So, Jeff Bezos is right now number one on the Forbes, like, list of richest billionaires ever. As of right now, I think his net worth is over $200 billion. Obviously he owns Amazon, but I found out he also founded this aerospace manufacturer, like, space flight company. Did you ever hear about this at all?
No, but I mean, I guess that makes sense with him going to space.
Right, yeah, because is it him and Elon Musk are, like, racing to Mars or some shit right now?
Yeah.
Why? So he founded this company called Blue Origin in 2000. And they're, this, like, space flight services thing. I don't really know too much about it. They have this New Shepard vehicle that reached space in 2015 and then successfully landed back on Earth. And they are trying to do commercial suborbital human space flight, similar to SpaceX. Jeff Bezos also purchased the Washington Post in 2013 for $250 million. And then he has a venture capital firm called Bezos Expeditions. I also just, like, it's worth mentioning that in 2020, during the pandemic, his wealth grew by approximately $24 billion.
Yeah. Other people dying on the street.
Cool. And I did actually find this statistic that I found, or this, like, numbers that I found really quick.
Yeah.
So it was, in 2020, workers lost $3.7 trillion in earnings during the pandemic. And then the world's billionaires got richer by $3.9 trillion. So literally all of the money that, like, we lost, billionaires gained while we were all suffering and dying of this preventable disease. So to go along with Jeff Bezos's weird fucking space flight company he apparently has, in his graduation speech, he said that he dreamed of a day when mankind would colonize space. And then he said, like, quote, his intention with this was, quote, to get all people off Earth and see it turned into a huge national park. Okay, Jeff.
All right. The idea that people still call it, like, colonizing space.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you're just gonna like own it and then make people pay you to like live not on the earth.
The fact that you're openly using the word colonize is like, okay, so you're a horrible person.
You're like self-aware, yeah.
You're self-aware, exactly. So Bezos started fucking Amazon in his like garage in Seattle or something, but before he set that up in Seattle, he had investigated getting Amazon started at an Indian reservation near San Francisco so that he could avoid paying taxes.
Of course he did.
Hooray. And then it's also just worth mentioning that he accepted about a $300,000 investment from his parents
That's what Amazon. I wrote down, yeah. Good old dad loan, which
classic.
Is honestly so just like not weirdly, we know why, but like so many of them get like weird loans from their dads to start these businesses.
I mean, Donald Trump, what was it? Like a small loan of $1 million?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're so humble and down to earth, sir.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Were you gonna?
Oh, I was just gonna say, because kind of along that line of like Jeff Bezos getting $300,000, was it, from his dad? Pardon me. Bill Gates didn't necessarily have a loan from his parents, but his parents were both very wealthy. He was very much a wealthy child growing up.
Yep.
He went to a private school, and the school, a couple of moms at the school did like a rummage sale and bought the school a computer in 1968.
God damn.
Like before anybody had a computer, like cutting edge shit. And that was at the school that Bill Gates went to, and then the school let him skip his other math classes so he could focus on coding because they were like, oh, you're good at it. And it was a rich-ass white person school.
Awesome.
And like the amount of luck that Bill Gates had was so insane. Like,
or privilege.
Yeah, privilege is the true word. But even, I mean, because even like outside of privilege, like he just happened to go to this school that just happened to have a computer in 1968. Right. Like it was very lucky, but also he had to have the privilege to get there.
Yeah, that's wild. And Bill Gates is sitting at about $124 billion right now, and obviously he owns Microsoft. His parents, I think I couldn't really find anything on his mom, but his dad co-founded a law firm called Shidler, McBroom and Gates, which later became K&L Gates, and he was like a wildly successful law firm owner.
I'm trying to remember Bill Gates' mom. I'm going to do a quick search here.
Go ahead. I will just quickly talk about Bernard Arnault. He's sitting at about $150 billion. He owns LVMH, which is Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy. And he owns over 70 brands that are in this, like, luxury brand conglomerate. Which it's just, like, I don't know, it's interesting to me, because I actually didn't even know about this guy until doing our research for this episode.
Me neither.
I had assumed that these, like, fashion houses were owned by, like, a Vuitton or a Fendi or whoever. Like, I thought they were owned by, like, Christian Dior owned Dior. But I guess he's, like, the director and, like, CEO and, you know...
But he doesn't, like, own it.
In charge, but he doesn't actually own it. The owner of, like, so many of these brands that you know is Bernard Arnault under the company LVMH. So he owns Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy, which is what LVMH is, and then he also owns Sephora, which includes, I mean, so many different makeup brands that we're familiar with, as well as Fenty, though. Fenty Beauty's in there. They describe Forbes describes his, like, LVMH, his ownership of all of these brands as an empire.
Yeah.
A lot of these billionaires and their fucking shit that they own is described as empires all the time. And it's, like, weird how casual that word is used. And I kept seeing it over and over, and the more I thought about it, I was like, that's real fucked up, actually.
It's like colonizing space. It's like,
it's
do you understand, like, what you're saying? And then you, like, ask them about it, and they're like, no, we're in the interest of the people.
Right.
Speaking of empires, Phoebe.
Yes.
To kind of throw it back my way.
Do it.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, fuck.
Mark Zuckerberg also took a $100,000 loan from his father, according to The Guardian. He enrolled in Harvard after going to a private school, Phillips Exeter Academy. He was in a fraternity, Alpha Epsilon Pi.
Ooh, bro.
Which, pretty lit, I guess.
I guess.
Facebook was originally a thing called Face Mash, which Mark Zuckerberg had made as a joke, and it was a site for people at Harvard. You would log onto this site, Face Mash, and you'd get 2 pictures of people at the school, and you would rate how hot they were. That's like the prototype for Facebook. That's like where it came out of. And of course, he was using people's pictures without their permission.
Oh, yeah.
Not much has ever changed.
Classic Zuckerberg move.
He stole the ideas of some of the other social media startups. There was one called the HarvardConnection.com, which he said he would help the people create, and then just stole all their ideas and went and started Facebook. And but this is why I said, speaking of empires, because Mark Zuckerberg has a weird obsession with Julius Caesar. Like, he and his wife went to Rome on their honeymoon, and, like, I can just imagine that, like, he was, like, walking around, like, leading his wife around Rome and being like, look at all this stuff, honey. And she was like, all right,
with
Mark.
his weird lizard eyes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's also... It's theorized that that's why his haircut is so awful, is he's trying to look like Julius Caesar.
Oh, yeah. Well, that haircut is literally called the Caesar. Where it's, like, straight, these short little weird fucking bangs on the front.
Micro bangs, but, like,
bangs.
Even worse. I don't know.
Yeah, but not on an e-girl, on, like, a weird, gross...
Lizard man.
Yeah,
so Mark Zuckerberg, weird-ass fucking guy.
Weird-ass fucking guy, indeed. And also Zuckerberg is sitting at about 97 bill right now, but, as literally probably as we're speaking, these numbers are, like, going up.
Just a cash 97 bill,
And if you want, like, a interesting, look into, I guess, how these social media sites work, not typically, but especially Facebook, how they make a lot of their money and, like, the biometrics that they use and, like, shit and ways that they get, like, information on you, watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. It is chilling. Like, it chills me to my bones, but it was just really interesting, like, seeing all of the fucked up shit that Facebook does.
Oh, yeah, Facebook's awful. And the thing is they're not even, like, a lot of the stuff they don't even, like, hide. It's just no one takes the time to read it. Like, there was that shit they got in where it was actually illegal, but... most of it's just, like, the normal stuff that you agree to when you set up a Facebook account or whatever, like...
When they're actually, like, in a fight with Apple right now over some, like, privacy thing. I can't remember what exactly it is, but Apple iPhones, they set up something that, like, automatically turns off. I wish I had this written out well and more specific of what it is, but... this new, like, iOS system on Apple will turn off something that Facebook does, like, automatically. It's set up for that, and Facebook was fucking pissed about that. Okay, quickly, just about this Bernard Arnault guy, just because it's crazy to hear, like, some of the shit that he owns. But, so he owns Sephora, he owns, Fendi, Dior, Givenchy, Marc Jacobs, Tiffany & Co., Bulgari, and then in the alcohol... department, and that's not even all of them. Those are just big names that a lot of people would know. In the alcohol department, again, big names that that a lot of people would know. Moët, Hennessy, Clicquot, Dom Perignon, and Belvedere. Arnold's father owned and operated a super successful construction business. His dad was a manufacturer and owned this engineering company called Ferré Savigny. Bernard joined his father's company in 1971, and then in 1985, he took $15 million from the family's construction business and bought Christian Dior with it. So, once again, parents giving their children shitloads of money to start this crazy billionaire empire that they had.
It's a classic rags to riches story, Phoebe. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
The amount of, like, when you're doing research on billionaires, the amount of, like, weird propaganda you hear about, like, the rags to riches or, like, the self-made billionaires.
Self-made. Well, Kylie Jenner, the youngest self-made billionaire. Mm-hmm. Which it's like, was she self-made?
Do you know what that word means?
Are you aware of... Which she got fucking, like, reamed on Twitter after that article in Forbes came out that she was, like, the youngest self-made billionaire. People were like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, not the first time that she's been highly criticized.
Symbol of controversy.
Yes.
If you will.
Yeah. So the Kardashians, so the father of Kim, Khloe... Fuck. What's the other one?
Kim, Khloe, and... Kourtney.
God damn. Kim, Khloe, Kourtney, and Rob, is... Robert Kardashian is their dad, and then Kris is the mom. He's since deceased of cancer.
Rip.
I know. Big loss. He was a child of Armenian-American parents. His father, Thomas Kardashian, had his own garbage collection business. And their family grew up in this super affluent part of LA. Robert Kardashian was a businessman, and this is so funny to me, but his, like, big first thing of how he got, like, a lot of his money was he came up with the idea of playing music between movies in movie theaters. And he created this business off of that called Movie Tunes.
Huh?
Yeah, legit.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't...
Okay, are we talking, like, old theaters where it was, like, I don't know, like, you'd see, like, a bunch of movies at once because they were all, like, short or something? Like, I
don't know.
That would I don't...
I feel like he just had this idea of you're not doing anything in between movies, so play music? I don't know.
Yeah, also, I don't know why, like, maybe that's why it's not around anymore, because, like, theaters can just play their own music.
Yeah.
Like, they have to pay Robert Kardashian
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, how the fuck did that... Like, how are you making that much money off of...
Very odd.
That? But he was also a lawyer. A lot of people probably know him from the O.J. Simpson trial. He was a close personal friend of O.J. Simpson, and Simpson was even the best man at the wedding between Robert and Kris Kardashian. During the O.J. Simpson trial, he stayed at the Kardashians' house to avoid the media, like, swarming him. And then this is just an interesting tidbit. Robert Kardashian was seen carrying O.J. Simpson's garment bag the day that O.J. Simpson flew back from Chicago, and prosecutors had speculated that that bag might have contained, like, O.J. Simpson's bloody clothes or the murder weapon that he used to kill Nicole Brown Simpson.
That's so wild. Like.
Yeah, it is really wild. Robert Kardashian was a volunteer assistant on OJ's legal team in the murder trial for Nicole Brown Simpson. And if you want to watch, like, a really interesting show on that, it's called American Crime Story, The People versus O.J. Simpson. And Robert Schwimmer plays Robert Kardashian. David Schwimmer plays Robert Kardashian. And then Sarah Paulson plays the lawyer on the other side, not the O.J. side.
It was a very good...
It was good.
biopic,
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd call that.
It was interesting. Yeah. Kris Jenner, their mom, this woman is fucking so interesting. Originally, yes. Let's jump into an ad before we talk about Kris Kardashian.
Word. Products, services,
all
capitalism.
That shit.
It's all good. Consume some things.
Yeah, if you so wish.
All right, we're back.
Hi. Was
that a good break for you, Phoebe?
I feel refreshed and ready to talk about Kris Kardashian / Jenner.
Yeah, and to like purchase some ads, right?
Yes.
Purchase the items.
Oh yes, I can't wait to use Anchor, a podcast distributing app location
for all my podcast distributing needs. Exactly.
And hopefully be on Apple Podcasts one day. I don't know.
This is a call out. This is a call out to Anchor to put us on Apple
They listen to it. They're like, fuck you guys.
God.
So Kris Jenner Kardashian, she's sitting at 190 mil, so she's not technically a billionaire yet, but all of her children are. So, well, not all of them, but I actually think Kylie's not a billionaire anymore. It doesn't matter. Several of her children are also billionaires. She owns stakes in all of her children's businesses, and she'll take cuts when she negotiates business deals for them. She's also an executive producer of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, of course. Her mother owned a successful children's clothing store. Her father was an engineer. She owns the production company Jenner Communications, and she also owned a children's store with Kourtney called Smooch. And in 2011, she started a clothing line with QVC called Kris Jenner Collection. She had also previously sold exercise equipment with them. And she is the one who came up with the idea for Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She proposed it to Ryan Seacrest in 2007. And now it's become one of the longest running reality shows in the US, with the 18th season coming out as of March 2020.
18 fucking seasons.
18 seasons of this family. Yeah, I know. And I mean, there's like several spin-off shows as well. Yeah. In her memoir, Kris Jenner and All Things Kardashian, about her life as a businesswoman, saying, "I started to look at our careers like pieces on a chessboard. Every day I woke up and walked into my office and asked myself, what move do you need to make today? It was very calculated. My business decisions and strategies..." Moonshine's going buck wild.
Moonshine.
"My business decisions and strategies were very intentional, definite, and planned to the nth degree." There's also a rumor that she was the one who leaked the Kim Kardashian sex tape. In April 2016,
Weird.
Ian Halperin, sorry Ian if I said your name wrong, he wrote a book called Kardashian Dynasty, and he alleged that Kris Jenner had deliberately leaked the sex tape to this thing called Vivid Entertainment. According to him, Kim was close friends with Paris Hilton, and according to him, he said that Paris Hilton told Kim if she wanted to get famous, a sex tape is the quickest and best way to do that. And he alleged that Kim had discussed the idea of making a sex tape with her family before the sex tape was released.
Wow.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Kris has, of course, denied all of these assertions. So, who knows if that's the truth or not, but I would genuinely not be surprised at all. I mean, this woman orchestrates her family to like an insane degree, and I will kind of talk about Kylie a little bit more and her like social media presence, and it's just kind of fascinating. But she's an executive producer for Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kourtney and Kim Take New York, Khloe and Kim Take New York, Khloe and Lamar, Kourtney and Kim Take Miami, a show called Kris, Rob and China, Flip It Like Dizzy, and Kirby Jenner. Also, just like funny fact, she was in the music video for Where's the Love by the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh.
Don't really know.
I can't recall ever seeing that music video.
Yeah, I didn't either. She was also in the Thank You Next Ariana Grande music video, which I do remember. She was in like the Mean Girls scene playing like the mom or whatever.
I could see that.
Yes. But it was just funny.
Do you want to hear a funny headline that just pulled up when I searched Caitlyn Jenner?
Absolutely.
From Vox.com. Trans people are dreading Caitlyn Jenner's run for California governor.
Yeah, I can see why they would be.
Yeah.
Oh, Caitlyn Jenner is a fucking trip.
What a lady.
Yeah. She also hit somebody with her car.
I did not know
she
that.
She did. Yeah, she hit.
But I'm not surprised.
And killed somebody with her car.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, I guess.
Yeah, so Kim Kardashian, who's the only one that I think is currently sitting at $1 billion. Kylie was for a bit, but there's some controversy with that, which I'll talk about. So yeah, Kim owns KKW Beauty, Skims, and of course was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which there was some controversy with Skims. She had originally wanted to name it Kim Ono, and for obvious reasons people were pissed off about that, so she named it Skims instead. It's like her like basic wear line. So she owned the clothing store called Dash with her sisters in 2006. As I mentioned, her sex tape, what really got her attention was she was close friends with Paris Hilton, and she was also Paris's stylist. She was on a couple episodes of The Simple Life. But then in 2002, her sex tape with Ray J was released, called Kim Kardashian Superstar, which, like, you know, whatever reason it is, like, whether it was her mom that released it, whether that was orchestrated by Kim herself, whether it was leaked and that sucked ass for Kim, like, that's not really the important part of, like, her money, but it's just, like, to illustrate the way that people make money these days and the reasons why they make money. There was a quote somewhere from somebody that said, Kim Kardashian is just famous for being famous. And I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, she just is famous because she is. This was just like a kind of funny little thing. She did this collaboration with Fusion Beauty and the 7 Bar Foundation, called Kiss Away Poverty.
Oof.
Yeah. She was the face of this campaign that for every Lip Fusion lip gloss sold, $1 went to the foundation to fund women entrepreneurs in the U.S. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. I mean, it's just funny because it's like, how is that? Because again, most entrepreneurs aren't poor when they start entrepreneuing. Mm-hmm. Like, so how are you kissing away poverty by just giving people who like probably have at least some wealth more money? Like,
yeah, and you're just giving, and it's kind of the same thing as like when you go to the store and they ask you to donate $1 to whatever fucking thing. Like, you're donating $1 for every lip gloss sold in your campaign called Kiss Away Poverty. Like, fuck you, Kim.
How much are the lip glosses? I don't know if you know.
I don't know. I would guess $15 maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of, what is that? I don't know math very well.
I don't either, don't ask me.
Less than 10%, I think?
Uh-huh.
No, maybe it's more, I don't know. But it's not that much.
Yeah. And then there's Kylie, who was at a point sitting at $1 billion. I think she's now has decreased to $700 million. She was named by Forbes as the youngest self-made billionaire at 21 years old in 2019. Which, like, as we had said, like, the name self-made is just not... I mean, we just talked about her whole fucking family. They are rich as fuck. They've been rich as fuck for a long time.
Yeah.
She was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians since she was, like, a child. Like, she's been making reality star money since she was a child. So, there's no self-made in this at all.
No.
But the controversy with her actually being named a billionaire, in May of 2020, Forbes had released a statement that said that Kylie had forged tax documents so that she would appear a billionaire, and they also accused her of fabricating revenue for the Kylie Cosmetics. She said that that was bullshit. She tweeted something. She was like, "What am I waking up to this morning? This is just ridiculous." Yada yada. She said she really was a billionaire. Who knows what the truth is? But
either way,
I mean,
it's
like,
too much money.
Bitch, why do you even care enough to, like, if she really did flub these documents, it's a little bit ridiculous that she cares so much to name herself as a billionaire. Like, her mom's not even a billionaire, and her mom owns stakes in every single piece of Kardashian/Jenner businesses. Like, I don't know. It's just funny to me.
It's, I don't know. I mean, the concept of $1 billion is, like, hard for most people to even grasp.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, like
700 million is a insane, disgusting amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a disgusting amount of money. And the fact that, like, she may or may not have been a billionaire is something that's, like, worth debating. It's like,
who cares?
I don't fucking care.
Still way too much money for one person to have.
Yeah, like, I care that she is, like, abusing her employees and shit and underpaying people in her factories. Like,
yeah.
Which, I feel like Kylie Jenner has made billionaireism seem really accessible with her social media presence. Like, she's grown up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You've seen her as a child. You've seen her form into this woman and create these businesses in real time. She's super, super prevalent on social media. Like, she has, you know, billions of followers on Instagram. She's constantly posting stuff. She is so, so in the public eye. And I just feel like it kind of gives her this, like, what is it? What do they call it? Reasonable doubt or whatever it is? When there's, like, a trial?
Yeah.
Anyway, it separates her from... Something like that. It separates her from, like, the evilness of billionaires. Like, Kylie Jenner is not somebody that you look at and you're like, oh, she's exploiting her employees. Like... Mm-hmm. She is this girl who we know, quote unquote, personally. Like Jeff Bezos, for instance, is not having all these followers on Instagram. He's not on a reality show. You don't really know much about Jeff Bezos, and so I feel like it's easier to believe that he's doing the terrible things that he's doing and exploiting his employees at Amazon the way that he is, such as, you know, not letting them take bathroom breaks and all that shit. But yeah, because Kylie... And I feel like it protects her. You know, there's all of these arguments for celebrity and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And I think when you look at, like, the Britney case, for instance, obviously that has ruined this poor woman's life. And it's been a rough thing for Britney. But for Kylie, I think that her being so in the public eye has protected her as she becomes a billionaire, because... you don't look at her as someone who's capable of these kinds of things, and you know so much about her personal life that it's easier to see her as, like, a human than it is to look at fucking Elon Musk like that. Like,
true.
So I think that is kind of the end of my little Kardashian shitting time.
Word.
But, oh, wait, also, I'm sorry, these are just funny little, just to... the whole thing that we were going off about how billionaires are just weird fucking people. So, apparently, Kylie and Kendall co-authored this dystopian science fiction novel called Rebels, City of Indra, the story of Lex and Livia. And it was about these two twin girls, Lex and Livia, who lived in a self-sustaining biosphere that was created from the remains of Earth called Indra. there was criticism with this novel that it had been ghostwritten, and the ghostwriter Maya Sloan came out and said that she did write the book, but then the Jenners' creative director, Elizabeth Kilman-Roman, came out and said that they had had numerous Skype and FaceTime calls with the ghostwriter in order to create this novel. Whatever. It sold only 13,000 copies in its first 4 months on sale. And then there's also a sequel called Time of the Twins. Whatever.
Was that like young adult fiction?
Yeah. It's like a young adult dystopian novel. I don't know.
It's so weird.
And then also in October 2019, you probably know of the Rise and Shine, where on TikTok, she was walking in to say hi to her daughter, to wake up her daughter, Stormy. She turns on the light and goes, "Rise and shine," and she trademarked the phrase.
Yeah.
The hashtag Rise and Shine had reached 1 billion views on TikTok, making it the fastest growing hashtag on TikTok ever. She trademarked Rise and Shine, and then she also tried to trademark Rise with 3 eyes and Shine 3 eyes, 2 N's, 2 E's.
So fucking stupid, dude. Like, how do you copyright a word, like just a word that people say?
Rise and Shine. She also tried to copyright the name
song.
Kylie.
Oh god.
Period. And then like Kylie Minogue, who's a singer, like battled her in court about it. And it didn't go through. But
and it's so dumb. I know a decent amount about copyright law, I guess, and it's like you can't copyright names of things because like it's just words in a fucking sequence. Like like you could literally write like anything and name it the exact same thing as something else, and more like it probably won't be illegal.
Exactly.
As long as you're not like plagiarizing the actual thing, it is, you know.
Right.
But their dystopian young adult novel made me think about Bill Clinton's crime books that he wrote.
What?
Bill Clinton and James Patterson wrote The President is Missing, and then another one that's called The President's Daughter.
Wait, did that get turned into that Disney movie? Do you remember that movie? Oh no, that was My Date with the President's Daughter.
Yes, that was, but it was so. I remember when it came out because I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
also, James Patterson is just a weird fucking guy as well.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like,
he's a weird dude.
Weird tag team on a like a mystery thriller novel about the president. Like, why? I guess at least you had a president to write it, so I guess that's the best source you can have.
Suppose so.
Just fucking weird. Like, people who are so rich that like just can like do whatever the fuck they want are so weird. Yes,
I mean, just recently Kim Kardashian posted this thing where she had this car that she covered in like her Skims fabric, and it's like fuzzy. It's like this like Sherpa fuzzy fabric. She covered an entire car, interior and exterior, in this fabric. She's never, ever going to drive that fucking car around town. You know for a fact.
Just cause. Like,
just because she can.
That's so much the whole point of this video is like... Yeah. Billionaires and even millionaires, people who just don't worry about money, it's like... They're fucking weird because, like... Imagine the kind of shit that you, like, thought about when you were a kid and, like, you didn't have any responsibilities. Like, you just, like, thought about weird shit. I feel like, especially billionaires that are just born into money, like, that's just, it keeps going. Like, they never have to worry about anything, so they just keep thinking of weird shit.
Yeah, they just do whatever weird stuff they want to do because there's no, like, repercussions for them. They can do whatever, like, Elon Musk shooting a fucking car into space. It's like, oh, it would be cool to put a car into space. I can do that. I'm gonna do that.
Let's just give it a try.
It was what it was. I'm moving on with my life now because that negatively impacted me 0%. Cool.
Honestly. Speaking of Elon Musk, that brings us to Elon Musk, which I know we both did a little bit of research on, so we can kind of compare notes.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a little teeny bit, so You go off, and I'll interject if I have something interesting.
Well, I know Elon Musk got a loan from his father as well for $28,000.
Jesus Christ.
When he was founding Zip2, which was his first company. Elon Musk is a fucking loser, dude. Like, he's just a big fucking dork. Like, that's all I can say. Like, I'd say that, like, Elon Musk is pretty smart, but, like, he's just a giant fucking nerd and has the money to, like, think that he has influence, so he's trying to be a cool guy on Twitter all the time. Like,
oh my god, he's so annoying.
But anyway, he sold that company for $307 million was his share. He sold that in 1999. Or sorry, no, the whole company sold for $307 million. He took $22 million from his shares. And then he went, and I believe him and his brother started X.com, which eventually became PayPal. October of 2002, Musk made $1.5 billion in stock when PayPal was bought by eBay. Also, pretty shitty to his employees at SpaceX and Tesla.
Yep.
The Guardian states ambulances have been called over 100 times since 2014. This article was written in 2017. Employees allege CEO makes them work long hours, sometimes through pain and injury, to fulfill goals. And I just feel like it's a very Elon Musk move to be like, I want you to do this, and then like the people who are like rational around him are like, we can't. Because that's not possible.
Yeah, physically not capable of doing these things.
No, you're going to fucking do it. And
I mean, it's just like Jeff Bezos. Like, the shit that he does with his employees is, like, makes them work, like, insane, ridiculous hours. Doesn't give them, you know, ample break time. Doesn't let them go to the bathroom and shit. The drivers literally have to deliver packages like the second that somebody fucking orders them.
It's so insane. New York Times says in this one article, Elon threatened a worker illegally with loss of stock options if they attempted to unionize, and then fired another worker for handing out pamphlets on unionization. So obviously, you know, the classic union busting type beats, which I think that union busting is very funny because, like, it just, like, shows that, like, billionaires are doing shady shit, right? Like, if you were, like, above board, right, you're just running your company, you're as honest and, you know, hardworking as you say you are,
right?
Why would you be so anti-union, right? Like, no, it's because you don't want to pay people more money and you're a fucking selfish asshole.
Exactly. Well, and that's, like, these billionaires would never be billionaires without their employees. Like, they would never... It's like people... The whole idea of self-made, it's like, no, they're not really doing any of the work that's getting this company the billions and billions of dollars that it has. It's the people that work there. And, like, they also wouldn't have the billions of dollars if they were just paying their employees a livable wage, giving them actual good healthcare and benefits and shit. Like, you would not have these billions of dollars if you were taking care of your employees and if you didn't have those employees. Like, if for instance, like, all of the employees of Amazon, or even just the drivers, left or went on strike or whatever, the entire company would fall apart. But Jeff Bezos would still be there, but he doesn't actually do anything to keep the company together. He doesn't actually do anything that keeps the company running. It's the employees that are doing the work. And it's just like... Sounds a little
like owning the means of your production.
Interesting.
A little communist of you.
Me? Never. I would never align with communism. I listened to this podcast that was talking about AI, and it said something about, like, how these jobs of factory workers are becoming automated. And it was like, why are we automating the jobs of the people who do, like, why are you not automating the job of the person who does the least amount of work in the company but rakes in the most money?
Yeah.
Such as the CEO or the owner, billionaire owner. Like, Jeff Bezos does really not that much. And he's the one taking the most money. So why... It makes the most logical sense to automate his job, right?
Well, and you think, like... Yeah, because I guess the argument from, like, weird capitalists would be like, oh, but, like, they make the hard business decisions. And it's like... But do they? And, like, also... I mean, we have AIs now that could probably just make business decisions for some... Like, who needs a CEO anymore? And then you could just start a co-op, like...
Yeah. Well, and wouldn't the people that work at the company know more what the business decisions of the company should be? Like, wouldn't the people on the ground level of the company who sees how everything runs on a daily basis, who notices, like, the inconsistencies, who notices the things that are actually failing on the day-to-day company-wide, like, fucking basis... Shouldn't they be the ones making the business decisions? Because they're the ones that actually see what's going down in the company, see the things that need to have improvement. Yeah. Like, Jeff Bezos doesn't fucking hang out on the Amazon fucking, like, warehouse floor seeing, oh, this is what's wrong today.
Well, and there's a lot of validity to, like, and I mean, this is more, because, like, obviously... Anarchism would be kind of like abolishing property and things like that, but there is something to be said for, like, electing your boss in, like, a working setting, you know, like, because then it's like, you know who you trust more to, like, lead a company, or, and, like, again, it might not even be, like, a capitalist company, but, like, you're doing farming, you're doing whatever the fuck it is, and, like, the workers elect somebody to, like, be the boss, you know, or to at least, like, oversee things, and it's like, you know who you would trust doing that over, like, some fucking person you've never met because they're a billionaire CEO.
Well, and shouldn't it work like that within the company, if this person is going to be responsible for making all of the decisions about how your daily work life is and the benefits that you're getting and the amount of pay that you're getting and the hours that you have to work and all of this shit that's going to affect, like, basically your entire life. I mean, at this point, our jobs are our entire life, but let's be real, and they affect every single portion of our life. Wouldn't it fucking make way more sense that you would elect the person who is, like, controlling most of that? Like, I understand that there's somebody who starts the company and maybe has to be the owner. Fucking whatever, I don't give a shit. But, like, shouldn't we be able to elect, like, our managers and our CEOs and our business managers and shit like that? Like, doesn't that make sense?
And just having, like, a workplace that's more, like, worker-ran, where you, like, you know, you can even still have a CEO, but it's like, if they're elected, if your input actually gets taken into consideration as just, like, a worker there, because you do know more of what, like, the thing is. I'm gonna actually look something up really quick, but...
Go ahead.
You should talk about Elon Musk's weird dad.
I will. Which... Fuck, I had something to say about that. Oh, Revolutionary Left Radio, which is a super great, like, communist, anarcho-communist podcast. They had an episode on socialism in the workplace and just, like, ways it would be beneficial and ways that it could work. And it was fucking awesome and fascinating. So I would suggest listening to that. But I will talk about Elon Musk's weird fucking dad.
One last thing before you jump into it. What I was looking up was, if you are interested in that, there's actually this company in Spain called Mondragon Corporation, and it's a big old fucking co-op of, like, you know, like this, it's like this non-bureaucratic, like, they vote on, you know, their managers and who's going to be leading the company. Like I was saying, the like, workers give input to, like, the CEO of the company, and they, like, strive to like, make everybody have, like, a portion of the stock and things like that. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It definitely, because my mom actually told me about it, but it definitely doesn't make as much money as, like, Apple. So that's why nobody does it. But it's a cool, because it's been around for forever. Like, they've been, like, 40 to 60 years or something.
So I mean, obviously they're still in business. Yeah, they're doing fine.
They're doing okay.
They're doing all right.
Yeah. No, I just thought that interesting. If anybody wants to look into it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Elon Musk's mom, Mae Musk, she was a Canadian model and dietitian. Her father was a chiropractor and an amateur archaeologist. And Mae describes her parents as very famous but never snobs. Sure.
All right. Yeah.
Sure, May. So, Elon Musk's dad, is a weird motherfucker. He lived in South Africa during the apartheid. I'm sure a lot of you have seen and heard of the whole thing of how he owned an emerald mine. Elon Musk will vehemently deny these claims. Also, when you were talking about, what was his Zip thing called?
Zip2.
Zip2. So, Elon Musk got into this whole fucking Twitter fight, of course, with people talking about, like, how he's super privileged and his family's rich and all this shit. And he tweeted, and he was like, these are all lies. When I went to school, I went into debt. When I worked at Zip2, I couldn't even afford a second PC.
A second PC?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
And he also claimed that he was like $100,000 in student loan debt and shit.
And he might have been, but you have a rich-ass fucking dad.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So this emerald mine... So Elon Musk was flying an airplane to somewhere in Africa, landed somewhere else, and then this Italian dude, like, bought his airplane, and then was like, hey, do you want to buy half an emerald mine? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And then used that emerald mine to fund his extremely luxurious lifestyle. So, I mean, that's been confirmed by Elon Musk himself. Elon Musk denies it. I don't know. Elon Musk has also described his dad as, like, a terrible person.
Oh, yeah, he, like, hates his dad.
He hates his dad. And I'm like, bro, you're literally following in his footsteps, so congrats, I guess. So I don't know. Elon Musk denies, like, everything that his dad says, but his dad literally, like, wrote a memoir and confirmed it. So, I mean, I don't know.
I kind of lean on the side of believing his dad.
I
because
would.
Why would you lie about that,
yeah,
I guess?
Exactly. Like, why would you make up that story?
Yeah, you're obviously rich. It's like, how you got rich, I guess, isn't, like, you could lie about it, but why?
Yes, yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and I feel like Elon Musk has a motive to lie. What motive does Elon Musk have to lie?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Also, according to Elon Musk, he shot and killed 3 people who broke into his house in Johannesburg. He was apparently charged with manslaughter, but then was acquitted on self-defense. So he might have killed 3 people.
Sick.
Yeah, he also had a child with his stepdaughter.
Oh, yeah.
Jana, I'm so sorry, everybody, but I am 100% going to butcher her last name. Bezendoot? Don't know. So sorry. At the time, he was 72 years old and she was 30. When he married her mom, she was like 2 years old.
Yeah, that's fucking gross.
He said that the pregnancy was an accident, which it's like, okay, but you had sex with your fucking stepdaughter, so, like, whether it's an accident or not, who cares, bro?
What the fuck?
He also said that, like, he didn't really see her as a stepdaughter because she was raised away from the family. Which, there's, like, 2 fucking issues with that. 1, you fucked your stepdaughter, Errol. 2, you didn't raise your own child? Like, you and your wife both did not raise your child? Your child. She's your child. You fucked her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So gross. So creepy. And...
yeah.
For sure predatory. Like,
yes.
That's
100%.
nasty. And,
yeah, the guy is just a fucking weird...
yeah.
Weird guy. He claims that the pregnancy was an accident, but Jana and their child were living with him, even though they weren't, quote-unquote, in a relationship. So, he has a son with his stepdaughter. Okay.
So, he is the dad and the grandfather of that baby?
To his own child.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that so much.
Yeah. Also, I just have these really, really funny quotes from Elon Musk. when he had his child with Grimes, aka Claire Boucher, he says, I think babies are super cool, and really people need to have more babies because it sounds obvious, but if people don't have enough babies, humanity will disappear.
Wow, really, really groundbreaking stuff there, Elon. Like, if we stop reproducing, there won't be any more humans. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. And then when asked about Grimes, he says, yeah, she's pretty special, that's for sure. She's one of the most unusual people I've ever met.
See, and that's the kind of weirdo shit that, like, I know he probably meant that as a compliment, but he's just a fucking dork, and, like, you don't know how to, like, interact with people.
Yes.
Like,
and it's, like, the way that he says that, it feels like he, like, is, like, collecting her, because she's, like, she's very known for, like, her weirdness. She's this musician who does this kind of weird experimental music, and her online presence is very odd. She's like, eccentric looking herself. She kind of has, like, an alien vibe to her. And I feel like he just, he went after her and started this relationship with her because she's like, oh, she's a weird eccentric thing and it'll make him look fucking cool or something.
It's like a rich, manic pixie dream girl.
Exactly. Fuck. Exactly. Yeah. And he has also described himself as being like hands off on raising their son, whose name is like some weird fucking thing.
Yeah, I remember the controversy over the name.
Oh my god.
Because that was, like, all people were talking about for, like, 30 seconds.
Honestly, that was, like, a nice day in quarantine. Me and my friend had just, like, kept, like, sending each other... we sent each other, like, voice notes back and forth and just played, like, weird sounds. We would be like, hey, I made some dinner, come down. And we just played, like, and, like, dinosaurs roaring and shit. It was really funny. It was a nice... It was a nice day in quarantine. Made me feel happy for, like, a second.
A little break from the dread.
Exactly. But yeah, Elon Musk and just his whole fucking family is weird.
So weird.
Ass people.
Rip Grimes for not being as cool as she used to be, but it's so hard because, like, Grimes is rad. I saw her in concert once at the Twilight Festival.
Yeah.
It was sick.
It was good. Her music is cool.
Her music's cool. She did a sick song with Ash Nico.
She did.
But, like, why you gotta date Elon Musk?
Yeah, well, and then didn't she take, like, anarchist out of her, like, Twitter bio or something when she started dating
Yeah,
Elon Musk?
I heard something like that, yeah.
Or, like, communist or something like that.
Yeah, it was, like, she, like, definitely changed. Well, I mean, I don't know. How are you gonna say, like, anarchist or communist when you're dating, like, one of the richest people in the world?
Number 2 on Forbes. Like...
It's, I don't know. But maybe she's an agent on the inside, and she's like,
right?
I don't know,
she would probably
assassinate him or something.
Grimes, if you're listening.
Grimes, I'm not telling you to commit a crime, but I'm not discouraging it either.
Right. We're just saying if it happened, I wouldn't cry about it.
Yeah, I would still listen to your music.
Yeah. What did she say on her TikTok? Enforced farming is really not a vibe.
Yeah.
Ugh, gross.
But yeah, I think we're about at the time. So any last notes, thoughts? Phoebe, PhD.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Your proper title.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting the bit about like billionaires not paying taxes. I did listen to a podcast by The Daily called Why Billionaires Pay So Little Tax. Mm-hmm. I'm going to describe it very rudimentarily, so listen to that podcast if you want like a really more in-depth look about it. But basically, people like Jeff Bezos will take out loans when they want to pay for shit that's really expensive, because like Jeff Bezos's like recorded salary is actually not that high.
Yeah.
It's not billions. It's not the amount that Amazon rakes in every day.
That's his net
so
worth.
In order, like when he wants to buy something really expensive, like a new mansion or a plane or whatever the fuck it is, he'll take out a loan for that he does not have to pay taxes on. And of course the bank will give it to him because they know it's fucking Jeff Bezos. Obviously he's going to pay this shit back. Which it's just like, that is so frustrating to me because you have people that are, like, constantly complaining about how, like, immigrants, for instance, who live here aren't paying taxes, when, like, you have these fucking billionaires who are doing sneaky loophole shit in order to not pay taxes, and then it's the same people that are criticizing immigrants for not paying taxes are glorifying people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and shit like that. Like, it's just, the fucking hypocrisy of it all.
Always.
And, like, the way that they'll talk about, like, oh, poor people taking advantage of the welfare system, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, well, these fucking people who aren't poor and aren't struggling at all are also taking advantage of the system, and you have nothing to say when it comes to them. But, like, when the people who fucking cannot afford ramen noodles and have to use food stamps, like, all of a sudden that's an issue. I mean, it's
propaganda.
True.
Also, we're gonna do a live react to this photo that of this article.
Okay, sure. Is that not
the Washington Post
that he owns?
It's this article that was in the Washington Post that's like, opinion, think twice before changing the tax rules to soak billionaires. But it's in the Washington Post, which is what Jeff Bezos owns.
He owns, and it's just a picture of him standing there,
like,
with just a blank expression and a thumbs up. Okay, Jeff.
Good old,
fucking weirdo.
Jeff Bezos is like a shield. Like, I make a meme of like Jeff Bezos being a shield for like Jeff Bezos. Like, it's like
exactly. Oh my god, yeah, the thing where like the soldier has all the knives in his back. That's literally it. We'll make that. We'll post it on the Insta.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then I think just like a final closing little thing. I found this quote, and I don't know if this is the first person to say it, but this is just something that I found by @the_Ryusi. Sorry if I said that wrong. On Twitter, it says, you know that classic Twilight Zone story where there's a box with a button on it, and if you push the button, you get like $1 million, but someone you don't know dies? Capitalism is about seeing how many times you can push the button before someone takes the box away.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's some shit.
Some shit.
No, I mean, it's true, and I've always, like, thought, well, because obviously any kind of, like, boss is going to be exploiting labor in some way, you know?
Right.
But also, convenience for like a consumer, always requires inconvenience for an employee.
Right.
So it's like, you know, in Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk's, like, venture to, like, make things more efficient and to, like, make more money and make things better for the consumer, they're fucking over the people that work for them, which is becoming more and more of society because their fucking companies are so huge.
Exactly. Well, and these companies that are smaller get bought by the Jeff Bezoses and the Elon Musks of the world and shit. And so it just, like, eventually even these ones that are startups or like mom and pop places get bought out by these things because they can't argue with the prices that they're being offered to buy the company. And then that culture of fucking evil corporation billionaireism takes over and just turns these smaller companies that had originally had, you know, somewhat okay practices just into the same fucking shit. I mean, it was like that joke about how eventually just everything's going to be owned by Amazon and we're all just going to work for Amazon.
Late stage capital. I mean, look at, like, Disney. Like, Disney owns so much fucking shit, dude.
It's ridiculous.
It's like, why do you need to own Star Wars, Marvel, like, just all these properties? It is like, it's because they can. Because really, it's just because they can. Like,
exactly.
It's fucked up.
Yep.
Late stage capitalism, baby.
Love it.
Well, anyway, I guess that's all we got. That was a good closing
Wrap it
statement.
Up. Yeah, good stuff.
Let's plug some things.
Pluggy plug. I just am going to shout out my best friend Kirsten. Hey, girl. That's it. I just wanted to.
Word.
But our actual plugs. Our Instagram is @Remarks Podcast. Marks spelled like Karl Marx, MARX. On Instagram, we'll shoot up a new post about this. Leave us a comment and shit, and please do, because we would love to hear from you guys and
I like interacting.
Yeah.
Twitter is Remarks Pod. Same thing basically, but just add there.
Yep.
And then I put out a new YouTube video.
Yeah.
Cool. The Lefty Agenda. I just put out a video on MGTOW, or men going their own way. Some
fucking awesome.
Sexist bullshit.
Yay, love it. Yeah, definitely gonna have to check that out. Taylor's YouTube channel is so great.
Thank you. It's growing, even if it's just to hate views from themselves.
You know what?
A view's a view, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. The haters are getting you the attention, so...
Anyway, yeah, I guess other than that, we're good to go.
That's that. Well, cool. Thanks for listening to us yell about billionaires for like an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.